Hi everyone, welcome back. It's January the 22nd and I'm here to tell you a little bit about my stitching this morning. And I don't have very long because my son's on his way, we're going to lunch. But I pulled out my Christmas vintage ornaments and I am working on this one right here right now. I've already finished that one. And this one I pulled out because the Bringo prompt was to stitch on your smallest whip. And I think this is my smallest whip. And it was on my original choice as my smallest whip. So I pulled it out and I started working on it this morning. And I've put in 167 stitches this morning. So all of this greenery across here and down the side, there are two colors of green already in here, and I finished up a little bit of the pink right up in here to get that 167 stitches, but that more than met 100 for Bringo, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Simply, even though I don't want to stop working on it because I'm really enjoying it today, I want to go ahead and get to work on today's number, which is number 11. Whip or new start with an animal. And we're supposed to make animal noises as we stitch it according to Carol and Zook. So glad I'm the only one here today. No, I'm kidding. But completing my vintage ornaments, I'm coloring in the spot now just to help you see it. But it gave me two more bingos on my Bringo board. It gave me a vertical bingo here, and it gave me a horizontal bingo here. So two more. Today's is right here. So that'll give me another horizontal bingo. And then the next 2 days, one of these two will be called each day and we'll be done with this project. But I'm so tickled that I am now caught up in current with today. So, well, my son's almost here. He texted me just a second ago to let me know he was on his way from Ollie's. He had stopped by there to get some things, and so he'll be knocking on the door any minute, and we're going to head to lunch. So maybe I'll get some stitching in later this afternoon and get today's prompt met on today and be caught up. Wouldn't that be nice? I'll share it with you if I do. Happy stitching, everybody. Hello everyone, welcome back. It is later on January 23rd, and I am back to let you see what little bit of stitching I got done this afternoon so far. I have been trying to catch up on all of my Bringo calls that have been going on while I've been trying to catch up on things while I was gone. And today I pulled out this Welcoming Christmas. That's my animal stack here because we had to work on a whip that had an animal in it. And of course, this one has 3, so how great is that? And the last time you saw it, I had started working on the sheep. And now, today, I pulled this 822, this lighter color that's almost the color of the fabric. And I started about right up here. This is about where it was. And I came down here and I color completed that entire back leg. So the next time that I pick it up, there's a little bit of a dark shadow in here to identify the leg, and then I'll start under here with that same color for the belly and the front leg, which goes right in here. So there you have it. I made a good deal of progress. I did 150 stitches. I wanted to just go ahead and do the color completion for this back leg because there was such a good division there. It was a convenient, place to stop it, and so that's what I did. So 150 stitches, more than met our Bringo goal of 100 stitches, and I got that taken care of today. So I will share my Bringo board with you, my working copy, and show you I am up to date. So now I only have 2 left, and we're on day 23. So one of those is 24 and one of them is 25. That was my goal to try to get to this weekend, and I was so glad that I almost made it. And I'm now, as of today, I've caught up. So when she calls the number for tomorrow, I'll pull one of these two whips out, and I'll do whichever one is called, and then the last one will be saved for the 25th. I'm delighted to get to pull out some of these original ones, you know, that I had put on my Bringo board before I realized I was going to be gone for 17 days. So now that I'm back home, I'm trying to make sure I pull out the original one, especially if it was not one of the ones I took with me, so that I get to work on something different and new. That'll be fun. I did have a wonderful time with my son for lunch today. He came up from where he lives now. He lives about 45 minutes away. And he drove over and came in and played with Coco, just excited her so much. She was so happy to see him. She adores him, and he adores her. And they played for a little bit. And, we were talking and visiting, and probably after about, I don't know, an hour, we left and went to lunch. And we talked and visited. It wasn't crowded. We didn't have to vacate the table very quickly. We could sit and talk, and he shared things with me that have been going on in his life, and all good. And I shared with him all about our trip and showed him pictures, and he was fascinated by the little clip of the water line on the ship going up and down like this. He thought that was really great. I couldn't even watch it. I said, take it over there and look at it. I don't want to get seasick. Anyway, we had a great time, and it was a lovely visit. I'm sorry my husband couldn't be there, but he's working on a movie. He's filming as an extra today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. So I took little Missy for her WALK, I don't dare say it out loud, this morning, early afternoon, and then this evening. It's very cold out, and I just don't think it would be a good thing for either of us to go out there right now. So instead, we went down in the basement, and, you know, we played with the balls and threw them, and she did that till she got tired, and she walked over and laid down on a blanket that my husband has down there for her pallet, and she just sat there. She didn't want to do anything. I tried my best to coax her to keep playing, but she had had enough. So we came on upstairs, and now she's taking a nap, which is great. So I did get to finish doing a little bit of stitching while she's taking a nap. I'll see how we do tonight. I have a scheduled Zoom call to stitch with friends this evening, but my husband won't be home. So I may or may not get to stitch. I may have to just sit and love on her. She's been very clingy today. This is the first day that one of us has been gone for an extended period of time, and the other one of us has been home, because Sunday we were gone for snips of time, you know, 2 or 3 hours at a time, but we were both gone, so the other one wasn't here to see how she reacted to that. But today I'm here, and she's been very clingy, and she'll come up here and stand up and put her paws on my arm and just look at me, and she doesn't want me to do anything except love on her. She just wants to be petted and talked to. It's been funny. I've done that, and then I've asked her, you know, what do you need, and show me, and she basically just wants to be touching you. She just wants to be next to you, and that's okay. I put her a pallet down next to me here, and she did lay down on it a little while ago, but when she really got ready to take her nap, she went on down and got on her ottoman. She loves our ottoman. So there you go. Coco's doing well, except she's a little bit leery of us being gone, which is normal, I guess. And otherwise, I am just having a great day stitching, and then to get to visit with my son was a treat. So it's been a good day for me. I hope you've had a good day, and I hope you're getting to stitch. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi again, welcome back. I am here to share some wonderful news with you. I have completed one of my other acrostics, my 24 hours of cross stitch and my daily 30. I had to do my small gift because I had to do something for the letter E, and the designer of this is Mary Englebright, and so that's what I was using this one for. And in my daily 30 group, I had to stitch 300 stitches. So today I stitched 301 on this beautiful little girl. I got the rest of this dark lighter green in her top, her dress. I got her gloved hands done, and this is starting the flower emblem that's on her elbows that you can see there. But I stopped at 301 stitches because this is navy blue fabric and it is nighttime, and I just didn't want to wait again another day to get this done. So that means I have completed all my acrostics for the month. And so tomorrow, after I finish my 100 stitches for Bringo, I'm going to pull out one of my Whip Go projects and I'll get started on one of those. So I am thrilled at my progress. I'm thrilled at how things have been going. I had a great day today with my son. We had lunch and did some visiting together, and now my husband has just gotten home. He has been filming today on a movie set as an extra, and I heard the door just come up on the garage. So Coco's excited. She's headed downstairs. She abandoned me here, and she's gone to see her dad. So I'm going to go down and greet him as well. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow with more stitching. But for today, I completed my acrostics, and I am tickled to death that I got those done. So it was a good day all the way around, and I'll show you one more time this pretty little girl. Is she precious? Happy stitching, everybody. I hope you've had a productive day as well. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. It is January 24th, and I am here to tell you I have already completed my Bringo stitching for the day. Today's requirement was to stitch on something that reminded you of a holiday. So I grabbed my For Unto Us, A Child is Born, by Silver Creek Samplers. This is one I started for Whip Go, and I grabbed it and I put in 109 stitches. This in right here is 109 stitches. I'm not sure I showed this to you the last time I stitched on it on the boat. I got this little, don't know if that's supposed to be a stork or a seagull or what, but anyway, I gotten the bird done. So today I counted off of it and got the end done, and it was enough to make that goal. So yay, got that done. So now I either have to grab one of my Whip Go projects and start accumulating the 5 hours on that, or I get to stitch on something totally different, whatever I want to do. So I think I'm going to look at what I might have in my ongoing whips that is getting close to a finish. I would like to have a finish this month if I can on one of my pieces. So I'm going to go look and see if I have one close enough that I could push it to a finish this week. Because I have all year to do my Whip Go goals, and I may wind up doing that in spurts. So we'll see. But I wanted to share this with you because I completed my Bringo stitching on my holiday piece today. I hope you're doing great with Bringo. If you're doing it, you'll have several days to catch up. I'm tickled that I got caught up before today, because now tomorrow when I stitch, I will have completed it, and I will have a blackout. So I'm excited about that. Looking forward to being able to share that with you. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina, and it is later on January 24th. And I am thrilled to let you know that when I caught up this morning by stitching my project for the Bringo prompt first thing this morning, I felt like I could breathe a little bit, and I decided it was time to set everything up in my bookkeeping, my record keeping that I like to do for myself, for just my stitching, keep track of what I'm doing. And each year I try to give you a little bit of a summary of how the year went, and I wanted to do that this year as well. So I've done a little bit of collecting of all of my record keeping data, and I'll share that with you as we go along. I hope you enjoy hearing a little bit about someone's progress or the different ways that I track my progress, and it may spark something you'd like to track. One of the things that I participate in is Stitch from Stash, and I have been doing that now for over 2 years. And I have been very pleased that every single time I have been able to finish in the black, which means I finish enough and with my budget, and I give myself the full budget of $25 a month so that I have enough money to buy my threads and my fabrics and things like that. I finished in the black again in December. I finished in the black in June. They do part A and part B. And I wound up at the end of the year with $54.46 in the budget, in the fake bank account. We take our budget, we take our finishes and give ourselves credit for that. There's a chart that Stephanie Kahn has created. She's the one that created the Stitch for Stash, from Stash. There's a new one now called Stitch Your Stash. This is different. That has been created by someone else, and I think they have a little bit of a different focus. This Stitch from Stash was created to help you think about before you make big purchases, and to make sure you're putting your money into your projects that you're finishing. It was just to help you kind of take a pause and maybe help control some of your spending, because we get enabled really easily. I do anyway. So you take your budget, you add in your credit for your finishes, and that's based on the size of the project, and then you subtract the expenses for that month that you've spent on fabric and floss and patterns, and you get to do that running total from January to the end of June is one, and then from July 1st through the end of December is the second part. And so during each section, you get to roll your balance forward, whether it's negative or positive, you roll it forward to the end of that section. And so I'm happy that I was able to be in the black on both June and December. And so I'm doing that again this year. I've already set up my January page in my calendar with my budget put in it. And then when I hopefully have a finish in January, I can add that in. One of the things that I do, just to give you a tip to help myself with this budget, is that when people ask me what I would like for my birthday or for Christmas, I tell them, I'd like you to go on my wish list and get something for me that I'm wanting or needing for my cross stitch. And that has been a big help for me. My sister does that for my birthday and Christmas, and my husband does that for my birthday and Christmas. And so I know in December I'm going to get a lot of wonderful things for my stash, things I've been wanting. But I don't have to pay for them. I don't have to take them out of my budget because they're gifts. So that is a big help to me. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about are my whips, my new starts, my finishes, all of that. Kind of how have I done this year? Well, I currently have 26 whips, and they consist of whips that go back as far as 2020. I don't have any active whips that's earlier than 2020. I have one that's not active that's probably older than that. I'd have to go look, but it's my chatelaine, and I haven't worked on it in several years. I started it and then put it away. And I may pull that out in this coming year. But for now, I can tell you that of my 26 whips, I have 4 left over from 2020. Remember, 2020 is the pandemic year, and I started pandemic, and I started the autumn bell pull, and I started big projects, and I still have 4. I think I did a restart on the nativity that year. Very intricate, detailed projects, because in 2020, what else was I going to do but stitch, right? We couldn't go anywhere. So I have 4 whips that are still current from 2020. I have only 1 from 2021 that I haven't finished. And I have 19 from 2022 that are still ongoing. Well, that sounds like a lot. It is 26 whips. 2 of them I started in 2023 already from Whip Go. So that's how I get to 26. But let's talk about starts and finishes. In 2022, I started 52 new things, 52 new starts. I had 44 finishes last year. 33 of that 44 were starts from 2022. So that means 11 of them were starts from prior years. So I obviously cleaned out everything prior to 2020, and I finished a lot of my 2021 that were hanging out. So 44 finishes, 52 new starts, and I'm carrying forward 24 whips, and I have already had 2 new starts, which brings me to 26 current projects. So that's how that looks. I participated in several programs, like Whip Go and Bringo and things like that. I had a blackout in both Bringo and Whip Go last year. I did 1 board in Whip Go last year. This year I'm going to do 2. And one of the ways that I really motivated myself last year, you've heard me say several times, I'm sure, if you've listened to any of my videos, that I work on a prompt. I'm working on a prompt today. Prompts for me are challenges or acrostics. Anything that tells you what to stitch, to me, is a prompt. That's what I'm calling a prompt. So in the Daily 30 group, we had an annual project called Animal Adventures, and I tracked those every month. I made sure I hit all 8 of them every month. I did the acrostics, in the Magazine Monthly Challenge group and in 24 Hours of Cross Stitch group. And then in the Daily 30 group, they have little vignettes, little stories that are educational, little snippets, and then they'll tie prompts to that, and that's how they'll tell you what to stitch. And I follow those. They also have like a Daily 30 where you stitch 30 minutes a day, and you can get credit for that. I don't do that, but I do the prompts that go with the story. There's usually about 5 of them. And so on occasion too, there's a monthly challenge in Daily 30, and I'll do the monthly challenge. This month in January, it was an acrostic. And so I did complete that already in January, so I'm pretty excited about that. But in 2022, I wrote down my prompts that I followed. And so I wrote down the name of the event and what group it was for, and then how many prompts did I complete successfully, so that if they were asking for 5 and I only got 4, then I only put 4. I think there were only 2 or 3 times that I didn't get all of the prompts that I was going for. So I worked real hard at meeting those prompts with whips that I want to work on, so that I can feel like, okay, this is sort of my assignment for the day, and this is how I pick what I'm going to work on. So I did that. I wrote it out every month, and I totaled them up, and in December, I totaled the year, and I actually stitched and completed 622 prompts last year. So I think that's very effective for me. It's been fun. It's helped me push projects toward finishes. It's helped me get to stitch on all of my whips throughout the year, because when I'm meeting a prompt, I do my best to spread out my projects. And if I use it for one prompt, I may use it for multiple prompts across several groups. I call that double dipping, where I stitch one thing and it'll hit this prompt in this group and that prompt in that group. But I do that so that I have time to stitch all the prompts. But in the same Facebook groups, you can't double dip within that group. So if you're working in more than one prompt, more than one challenge in those groups, you don't get to count them for both of them. You can only count them once. So that's okay, because it just helps you put more stitches in. But 622 prompts was not too shabby. I was pretty excited about that. So, plans. That kind of wraps up 2022. What are plans for 2023? Well, January was easy. It was Bringo. It was the acrostics. From Daily 30 had a big acrostic for a monthly challenge. 24 Hours Across Stitch has a big challenge. So I will plan on doing those acrostics. I will plan on doing other challenges that have prompts to stitch from. But as far as a focus or how I'm going to divvy up those projects to try to meet my goals, I haven't thought about that yet. We've been traveling. I've only been home about a week. I've used that time to catch up at home, catch up with friends, and to catch up on my stitching. And I haven't really spent a lot of time thinking about next month. So I'll do that next, and that'll be another section that I'll come talk with you about down the road. But for now, I just wanted to share how productive I felt like 2022 was for me. I hope it was for you. I'm only doing the record keeping just as a way for me to look and see how well I did, as far as, was I productive? Was I doing a good job spreading, my energies and efforts around? And I think I did. I'm pretty happy with it, and so that's a good thing. Tomorrow ends Bringo. We've got one more prompt to stitch for, and it will be to stitch on something with a flower or tree. And so I had originally said I was going to pull out the Let Love Rain. But I think because I'm getting closer to a finish on my March wordplay, I put a lot of work into it on the boat. I think I'm going to try to put those 100 stitches in it. And if I am so motivated tomorrow, and it's not taking too long, I may try to finish that thing, because I would love to have a finish in January. I didn't have a single finish in December. Had I been able to finish a couple of things in December, that would have been great. But I actually went back and looked at my daily planner, my calendar, book of days, just to see, and all my stitching is written in there, but I was just working on projects. I didn't have anything ready to finish. So no finishes this past December at all. That's unusual. But anyway, I'm hoping to get one soon in January. I'd like to get at least one before the end of the month. I don't want to go 2 months in a row with no finish. I think that would be discouraging for me, because I am a product stitcher. I'm not a process stitcher. I stitch everything because I want it done. I want it for a purpose. I enjoy it. I enjoy the process of it, but I'm stitching more toward a finish than I am just to be stitching. So that is just how I'm wired. Not wrong or right. That's just how I am. So I'm going to let you get back to stitching. I'm going to go say goodnight and go to bed. My husband is working in the movies again tomorrow, and so he has to get up really early and leave out of here at 6 a.m. to get to Atlanta for the filming. And that means Coco and I are on our own again tomorrow. We did really well today. Took her out walking twice. I took her down in the basement to play ball. And do you know what she did to me? I took her downstairs to play ball. She loves to do that in our basement. And I threw the ball and she went running for it, jumped up and caught it. And she took that ball and ran right up the stairs back up into the house and went and got on her ottoman. Now, she only gets to play with the balls in the basement because they're dirty, you know, and we don't mind throwing them on the floor and things like that in the basement. But she's not supposed to bring them out in the house because all she wants to do is peel them. They're tennis balls, and she likes to peel the fabric off of them. So I had to go find her. I had to come all the way back upstairs. And there she was on the ottoman with her little ball next to her, just waiting on me to come get it. She had her own game in mind. She's a mess. I'm going to tell you that right now. Anyway, but we did really well today. She wasn't quite as clingy today. She let me stitch a little bit more today. But she still wanted to be cuddled a lot. In fact, at one point, she wanted me to take a nap with her. She came and got me, and she wanted to go to bed. And so I laid down on the bed with her, and she napped about 30 minutes. I fell asleep. I woke up when she moved, and it'd been about 30 minutes. So she just wanted to lay there. She just wanted to cuddle, I think, which was kind of interesting. But so that wraps up. I think that really wraps up 2022. I had, hadn't had a chance to pull those stats together, but I've always given them to you every year. So I thought I would do that. And now I'm going to check and see if I have probably got more than enough to make another video. Y'all are going to be sick of me. I've had so many videos lately trying to get part of that travel up for you to share and see. So I did them real close together. And but now, I've got stitching, and I've got the anniversary celebration, and now I've got stats, and so there's a lot to share. Thanks for letting me do all that and share that with you. Thanks for coming along with me on my stitching journey. And I hope that you will be sharing yours as well with me. I love to see your comments when you tell me what you're doing and how well you did last year or what your plans are. I love it. It's a conversation, and I appreciate that. So I will hope that hope your month is going well. We have a little bit left of it, so I hope that you get to wrap up something, make progress on something if you want to, but most of all, just enjoy it. Enjoy your stitching. Happy stitching, everybody. Good night. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It is January the 25th, and I'm here to give you a brief update. Well, I did it. I finished Bringo. Yay! Oh, it was a wonderful challenge. I loved it last year. I loved it this year. It was a bit difficult in the beginning having to adjust for traveling, but what it teaches me is that with a little bit of planning and a little bit of tenacity, you can accomplish what you want, what's important to you. And for me, it was important that I not let the travel schedule keep me from achieving what I wanted to in my stitching. My stitching was most important. And so that was fun for me to get to do that. So today I'm here to show you the final Bringo stitch. The prompt today, the last prompt, was to stitch on something that had a flower or a tree. And I'll admit I was originally going to stitch on something else. I was going to stitch on Let Love Rain Again. But I had mentioned yesterday that I really wanted to see at least one finish in the month of January to get my year started off right. And this piece that I was working on had flowers in it. And I had to stitch them actually. So I picked up my March wordplay and I finished it. I stitched 890 stitches in this thing today and I finished her. Isn't that lovely? I think it's great. I'm extremely happy with how that turned out. I think it is the right colors. I think it's a great depiction of March, and I left the colors just the way they were. So these are all the call for colors. A few of them are DMC, probably about 4. I did not have the called for overdyes, so I just used the substituted DMC that was recommended. And there you have it. My first finish in 2023. And it's to the 25th before I got there. But here you go. At least I will have one finish in January. I'm excited about that. There you go. So I did get a blackout in Bringo. Got every single square colored and completed. And I think that's awesome. And so to recap for January thus far, I have completed the 24 hours of cross stitch acrostic. I've posted that. I have completed the Bringo. I have completed the daily 30 acrostic as well. And I just posted that this morning. And that one was a toughie because you had to stitch 300 stitches for every letter that you worked on. But I got it and got that done. So now I'm kind of looking around saying where I want to head from here. I could start working on one of my whip go pieces and probably ought to do that. Or I could look in my stash of whips and say what's closest to a finish and see if I could eke one more out this month. I don't know. I haven't decided what to do. I think what I'm going to do is put up a video. I started working on one this morning and I had more footage than I wanted to use at one time because I try so hard not to let these go over an hour. And when the one I'm putting up today hit an hour and 4 minutes, I said, that's it, I'm stopping. So you'll get that one today, and then probably within a few days, I will have enough to put up a second one. Because I just did so much stitching trying to catch up when I got home. So I've made a lot of progress, and I think that's awesome. Plus, in the one I'm putting up is an announcement about my anniversary. So don't comment on this video. Go back and comment on that video if you want to participate, because that's where I tell you what words to use and everything else. So this finish is on Color and Cotton Chickpea 32 count Lugana. I don't think I mentioned that. There's my finish, kind of a status of where we are. And once I get the video up, then I'll come back and decide what to stitch on. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome again. It is January the 26th, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about my stitching for the day. So far, anyway. I plan on doing more if I can. But today I decided to tackle Whip Go, and I wanted to try to work at least on one of my remaining 2 Whip Go calls for the month of January. And the first one I pulled out was the Autumn Bell Pull, and I was to start on the letter M. I'm down to this letter now, so we're getting there. And I am stitching this on the other half of this beautiful Joblin Queen Anne's lace, and it is 32 count. And I had split it right down the middle because I have plans possibly for another bell pull down the road a bit. And so if I get to do that, I have this ready to stitch that on. So I calculated up how I was going to place my M. And the way that I did that is the pattern tells you to leave 6 spaces between the bottom of one and the top of the other. So I counted down 6. And I looked on the pattern above and found where the middle point was. Came down and put a pin, just a counting pin, on the middle of that motif. And then I took the pattern for the M and I found the middle, and I lined up the 2 middles together, counted 6, making sure there were 6 spaces down, and that gave me the top row. So then I counted over and started on my top row and did that little swirl and came back and started my M. And you can see there are motifs blocking it. So I have actually done all the letter M that I can get to before it's blocked by the sunflower or the greenery on the pumpkin or the pumpkin body. And the best news about that, all total, is that it helped me not only meet my whip go goal of 5 hours of stitching, it also helped me hit 2 prompts in one of my challenge groups. And the way that I did that is I'm to stitch 100 to 200 stitches. Tighten this up now so you can see it nice. And so I chose to do 200 stitches for the first prompt. And the first prompt was to stitch on a project that had one main piece in it surrounded by a lot of little things. And so I said the M was the main thing in the picture, and it's surrounded by all these little things. So I felt like it met that criteria, and I stitched the full 200 stitches and took a picture and posted it. And then that was the end of my day on the 25th. So then on this morning when I got up, I had already put in 200 stitches, or roughly 2 hours, not quite. But the next one I had to do was something that you might find in outer space, and I just didn't have anything that I felt fit that. So you can do alternate stitches. You just have to add 100 stitches to it. Well, I added 100 to the 200, and I stitched 338 stitches today and finished out this M. So basically I have now stitched 539 stitches right at 5 hours on this. So I've met my whip go goal, and I've met 2 prompts out of my weekly challenge. This challenge is called the solar system. And so I have to take a picture now and post for my second part of the solar system because I just pulled this off my roller frame. And I'm so excited because it's just now about 5 o'clock, and my husband just took Coco out for a walk, so I won't need to have supper ready for just a little bit more time. And I think that'll be great. That means after dinner I'll have more stitching time. So I'll get to pick what I want to do, and I'm thinking, if I don't change my mind, I'm thinking that I may pull Kringles back out, because my goal for the month of January was to do the wall, the brick around those top 3 rows of rooms, because I have to do the top section and then a room each month, and then the middle section and the room each month. I'm trying to finish it in a year. I don't know if I'll be able to. There's a lot of stitching, but we'll see. But I would love to put another evening of stitching into it and just see how well that goes. There are 5 days left in this month, and I don't have to catch up Bringo because I finished it. I blacked out my Bringo board, and I've already posted that. So really and truly, other than my prompts that are coming out of my Daily 30 group every Friday, I can stitch whatever I want to till February, because our whip go numbers that were called for February were 7 and 11. And today I was talking with a couple of friends stitching online, and Mary asked me what were my whip go projects, and I hadn't even looked. I said, Mary, I'll have to look while we're on the phone. So I did, and number 7 for me on my first board, which is the holiday seasonal board is 7 is Halloween Quaker. So I can't tell you how excited I was that I had gone back and gotten my Halloween Quaker back to where it needed to be and got that problem corrected, restitched. I'm so happy to be able to pick it up now for Whip Go because my goal is 5 hours on it, and now that'll all be new stitching. I won't feel like I'm redoing something. I'm so tickled about that. So I'm really glad I did that. Then the second number on my board is 11, and on that holiday seasonal board, it's Christmas Sentiments. This couldn't have happened at a better time for me. All I have left to do to finish that is beading, but I have a lot of beading to do. But I'll do all the beading, and if it takes less than 5 hours, I've still met my prompt because I finished the piece. So that, I think, qualifies for it. And but that is awesome. So I've already penciled in on my 1st of February to grab Christmas Sentiments and my beads and bead that piece and have it finished. So that is exciting. And it's even more exciting to note that in my year of whips, Christmas Sentiments is on the list. So if I get that finished on February 1st, I finished my 1st year of whips. Yay! I just love it when all this falls together. So I have a second Whip Go board. And so let's talk about what's coming up there for numbers 7 and 11. Number 7 is a new start. It is casting a spell. And I had a special goal on that one. I just said to stitch 1 section. So that's a good thing because it's going to be a very small section. I'll pick the smallest one and stitch it because I have in number 11 another new start. And isn't this exciting? It's May wordplay. And I just finished March wordplay. So now I won't have 2 of them going at the same time. I just finished March. So I think I will take some time this month, one evening. I'll pull that out. I'll find the fabric I want, and I'll decide if I'm going to do any kind of color converting, and I'll get all the colors pulled and ready to go before February hits, so that when I do get to February, I'm ready to start that whenever. And so that's exciting. I had hoped that I wouldn't get all my new starts together, and so I really took a lot of care in my Whip Go boards to make sure I didn't have a new start on the same number in both boards. But you have no control if 2 numbers are called and they're both new starts. So I still got 2, which is okay. I had 2 last month, so that's all right. And I finished 1 of them. So we're going along pretty well. So that's a Whip Go update for you of what's coming up in February. So I wanted to share with you a funny little story. Our son and I had lunch on Monday, and when he came in to see me, he had brought one little load of laundry he was going to go by the laundromat to do, or he was going to see if I minded if he washed it while we went out to eat. And I said, oh gosh, throw it in. So he did. Well, when he came around the corner from the laundry room into the kitchen where I was standing, he held up a beautiful medal and on a ribbon, that he like you get at a race. And he said, I'm going to need my own medal tree just like Dad wants for Christmas to put all my medals on it. And I said, what? It was a marathon medal. He had virtually joined a group where you exercise at your own home, at your own pace. He was walking in his neighborhood. And you do this on an app, and it tracks how much you walk or how much you run. And when you've completed the race, they send you a medal. And it's a nice medal. It was pretty impressive. So I'm going to put a picture of it at the end of the video or in here and let you see it. And oh my goodness, I was so proud of him. And you will notice too, his weight loss is now really showing in his face because he's lost so much. And I'm so proud of him. Oh, he's just doing so well. So this weekend he's supposed to go on a big camping or kind of a retreat with some friends, and one of them owns inherited some land, and he's built himself a shooting range on it, and he has a lake that he keeps stocked. So they're talking about having a contest, a shooting contest, target shooting contest, and also a fishing contest. And these are just my son's friends that he's made since we've lived here, and there's a whole group of them that are getting together, and I'm excited for him. I think he'll have a good time. He's doing things a lot more like that now that he can get around, you know. I'm just really, really happy for him. So that'll explain that picture with his medal. And then I also wanted to put at the end here another little picture of Coco, because when my husband takes her into some of the parks that have wooded areas, they back up sometimes to people's private property, you know, and there are people here who hunt deer, and so Coco looks like a little deer running through the woods, as I have said before, with her, the way she springs and jumps, and her little fluffy tail could very easily make her look like a little deer, because she's about that color. And but anyway, she wears an orange vest that I made her, and my husband puts on an orange cap so they can be seen well in the woods, and there's no accidents that happen. So I have a picture here at the end of Coco and my husband getting ready to go in the woods with their hunter orange on. When she gets that vest on, she knows where they're going. She knows she's going to be in the woods. It is so funny. It's really, really cute. So I wanted to put that in at the end for you as well. Well, thanks for letting me share everything with you. If I get enough stitching to make a dent and have enough to share with you, I'll come back and show you later. But otherwise, I hope to see you soon. And in the meantime, happy stitching.